I was 22 when I turned down what could have been the opportunity of a lifetime. A chance to work abroad, experience a new culture, maybe even change the trajectory of my entire career. I said no because I was afraid. Afraid of the unknown. Afraid of failure. Afraid of leaving my comfort zone. For years afterward, I tortured myself with those 3 little words that have the power to haunt us all. What if? What if I had said yes? What if I had taken that leap? What if my life could have been different? We've all got something like this, haven't we? That one decision, that one moment, that one mistake that we just can't seem to let go of. The past has this incredible power to hold us captive if we let it. But what if I told you that the very thing keeping you stuck might be the key to your freedom? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something deeply personal but universally relatable: how to release the grip of the past and create a future you're excited about. This isn't just about positive thinking or empty affirmations. This is about the real, sometimes painful work of acknowledging where we've been, learning what we need to learn, and then having the courage to move forward anyway. Whether you're carrying regrets about choices you've made, opportunities you've missed, relationships that ended, or paths not taken, today's video is for you. Because the truth is, while we can't change what's behind us, we absolutely have the power to determine what's ahead. So if you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever wondered if it's too late to create the life you want, or if you've ever felt weighed down by the what-ifs of your past, stay with me. The next few minutes might just change how you think about your future. Let me tell you about that opportunity one mentioned. Fresh out of college, I was offered a position with a growing company in Singapore. The salary was modest, but the potential for growth was enormous. My friends were excited for me. My family was supportive. Everything pointed to yes. But as the decision deadline approached, doubt crept in. What if I couldn't handle the work? What if I got homesick? What if I failed spectacularly in front of everyone? So I declined, choosing instead a safe local job that felt comfortable and predictable. For years afterward, every time I felt stuck or unfulfilled in my career, my mind would wander back to that crossroads. I'd see social media updates from the company in Singapore, growing and thriving. I'd imagine the person who took the job I declined, probably having amazing adventures and building an impressive resume. The weight of regret is a strange thing. It's not just sadness about what happened, it's this persistent anxiety about what could have been. It creates this alternate timeline in your mind, a shadow life that follows you around, taunting you with possibilities. And it's not just major life decisions that can haunt us this way. Sometimes it's words we wish we could take back. Relationships we mishandled. Times we betrayed our own values. Or simply moments where we weren't our best selves. The problem with being anchored to these past regrets is that they don't just stay in the past. They color how we see our present and how boldly we move toward our future. When we're afraid of repeating past mistakes, we often choose safety over growth. We say no to new opportunities because what if it turns out like last time? We hold back in relationships because what if I get hurt again? We don't pursue dreams because what if I fail again? The what if looking backward becomes a prison that prevents us from asking what if looking forward. So how do we break free from this pattern? It starts with embracing a fundamental truth that's both obvious and surprisingly difficult to accept: we are imperfect. We will make mistakes. We will have regrets. We will sometimes choose poorly. This isn't a flaw in the system, it's how the system works. Think about it this way: if you expected a toddler learning to walk to never fall down, you'd be setting an impossible standard. The falling is part of the learning. The mistakes are part of the process. Yet somehow, as adults, we expect ourselves to navigate complex lives, relationships, and decisions without ever stumbling. And when we inevitably do, we carry those stumbles with us as evidence of our unworthiness rather than as the natural byproducts of being human. Let me share something that changed my perspective on that job opportunity one passed up. Years later, I reconnected with someone who had actually taken a similar position with that company. While there were certainly growth opportunities, there were also 80-hour work weeks, a cutthroat environment, and eventually a major company restructuring that left many people unemployed. Would I have thrived there? Maybe. Would it have been the dream scenario I had built up in my mind? Probably not. The point isn't that I made the right choice after all. The point is that the perfect, idealized alternative life I had been torturing myself with wasn't real. It was a fantasy that ignored the complexity and unpredictability of how life actually unfolds. And here's where it gets really interesting. Those regrets, those mistakes, those wrong turns we've taken? They're not just obstacles to overcome, they're actually the raw materials for building wisdom. Every relationship that didn't work out taught you something about your needs and boundaries. Every career misstep clarified your values and priorities. Every failure built resilience and problem-solving skills that success simply cannot teach. I'm not saying we should aim to make mistakes or seek out painful experiences. But when they happen, and they will, we can choose to see them as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. This brings us to perhaps the most powerful reframe of all, seeing your past not as a prison that defines you, but as a guide that informs you. Your past is rich with data. It tells you what brings you joy and what drains your energy. It shows you where your strengths lie and where you might need support. It highlights your values through the decisions you've made and the consequences you've faced. All of this information isn't meant to limit you, it's meant to guide you toward more aligned choices in the future. This perspective shift also opens the door to something powerful: gratitude for the journey, not just the destination. When I finally stopped fixating on that one missed opportunity in Singapore, I started noticing all the good that had come from the path I did take. The amazing colleagues who became lifelong friends. The skills I developed that I might not have otherwise. The fact that being closer to home meant I was there for important family moments I would have missed. This doesn't mean pretending that painful experiences weren't painful, or that you can't acknowledge genuine loss or injustice. Toxic positivity isn't the goal here. The goal is to hold the full truth. Yes, there were paths not taken, and yes, there were genuine gifts on the path you did take. And here's where the real liberation happens. When you can release your grip on the past, you free up your energy to fully inhabit your present. So what does it look like to actually move forward? It's not about forgetting your past, but about using it intentionally as you create what's next. First, set clear intentions. What do you actually want for your future? Not what you think you should want, or what others expect from you, but what you genuinely desire. Often our fixation on past regrets distracts us from the essential work of defining what we want our lives to be about going forward. For me, this meant getting clear that I valued creative expression, meaningful connection, and contributing to others' growth more than I valued traditional markers of career success. This clarity helped me make decisions that aligned with these values rather than decisions designed to compensate for past regrets. Second, embrace new opportunities not as replacements for what you missed, but as entirely new possibilities. The goal isn't to make up for the past but to create something fresh and meaningful in the present. This might mean taking calculated risks. It might mean being vulnerable again after being hurt. It might mean applying for that position even though you fear rejection. The key is to make these choices from a place of hope and possibility rather than fear or regret. And finally, remember that the future you're building isn't just about achievement or acquisition. It's about becoming the person you want to be. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be known as? What values do I want to embody? What impact do I want to have? These questions shift your focus from what you've done or not done in the past to who you are becoming day by day, choice by choice. Before we wrap up, I want to touch on something that's often overlooked but absolutely essential to this journey: forgiveness. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean excusing mistakes or pretending they didn't happen. It means acknowledging them fully and then choosing to treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a good friend who had made similar choices. Forgiveness is not a one-time event but a practice. There will be days when old regrets resurface, when the what-ifs seem louder than usual. On those days, gently remind yourself, I did the best I could with what I knew then. And now I know more. This practice extends to others as well. Often our most painful regrets involve other people, things we did or didn't do, ways we hurt others or were hurt by them. Forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean reconciliation or continuing relationships that were unhealthy. It simply means releasing the grip that resentment and blame have on your heart. And finally, embrace the joy of living in the present. This moment, right now, is where your power lies. Not in rewriting the past or controlling every aspect of the future, but in bringing your full attention and intention to now. What small step can you take today toward the future you want to create? What regret can you acknowledge and then gently set down? What possibility lies before you that you've been too afraid to reach for? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one thing from your past that you're ready to release? Or what's one intention you're setting for your future? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this video resonated with you, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more content on personal growth and creating a life you love. Remember, your past may have shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. The power to create your future begins the moment you decide to release your grip on what was and open your heart to what could be. Until next time, be gentle with your past self and brave with your future self. You've got this.